Hi, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. If you can hear me, please can you leave an emoji so we know we're on the same page? You're welcome once again. Welcome to the first version of the Executive 101. Executeens 101. Drum rolls, everybody. So you're welcome to a 4 weeks virtual leadership and skill training program for young school leavers. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Your time really means a lot to us. We value your time and we value your participation. So I would love us to utilize the chat session, the chat box. Can you just leave where you're joining us from? Can you leave your name, your organization, where you're joining us from, your location, your state? Can you just leave it in the chat box and tell us how your day is going? I can see Giving Promise, I can see Damilola Alade, I can see Agama, I can see Haladu, I can see Onora Chisom. You're all welcome. Please, can you introduce yourself in the chat session? Tell us your name, where you're joining us from. We'll be so glad to welcome you. So while the introduction is going on, I will introduce myself. My name is Farida Suleiman, and I'll be the moderator throughout the sessions. So my name is Farida Suleiman, also known as Paddy Girl Advocate. I am also a passionate advocate for sexual reproductive health and rights for young girls in secondary schools. I have led so many impactful innovations that's earned me awards and recognition. I am also the CEO of Farida Royal Apparel and also the co-founder of Teen Lead Nigeria. You're all welcome once again, and I bet you're going to have a very, very interesting time here, and you're going to get value for your time and your data. Thank you. On the chat box, I can see we're already introducing ourselves. I can see Onora Chisom Malaiki, joining from Ebonyi State, recent law graduate waiting for law school application. Wow, that's impressive. You're welcome, Onora. And we also have Giving Promise, Youth Leadership and Engagement Specialist, joining us from Abuja. You're welcome, Sam. Let's keep it coming. You can introduce yourself even after the calls continue. So right about now, I'm going to introduce our convener. Let's celebrate her. Can you leave an emoji to celebrate her? Leave an emoji to celebrate her. I'll be telling you a little about her before she comes up for the orientation. So our convener, Olubumi Fred Otite, is a professional educator, trainer, teen coach, and founder. Brighten and Build the Teen Foundation, an organization dedicated to grooming young leaders, empowering and providing mentorship, especially to adolescents in undeserved communities. Under her leadership, the foundation has successfully impacted over 3,000 school students, equipping them with essential life skills and fostering both personal growth and academic excellence. Her commitment to youth development has been expressed in various capacities, especially as a mentor with organizations like Teach for Nigeria, Leap Africa, and Yali RLC. She's the initiator, the Curiosity Corner, a forum where young persons share experiences, ask questions, and receive unbiased guidance. A CTIP ambassador, CTIP means countering trafficking in persons. She's passionate in fighting against human trafficking in Nigeria and with a passion for change and she has a very unyielding commitment. She has championed several initiatives aimed at raising awareness, educating vulnerable communities, and collaborating with key stakeholders to counter the devastating impact of human trafficking. Passionate about leadership and change, she continues to inspire and equip young people, particularly in undeserved communities, for a brighter future. Once again, let's welcome our convener, Olubimi Fred Otite, founder BBTT Foundation. Can we get reaction, please? Thank you. Over to you, Ma. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Farida. That was awesome. Thank you for the amazing Nigeria. I'm super excited to be here this morning, and it's good to have a number of us right here in the room. I'm excited. If you're excited to be here, can you just leave excited for me in the chat box? I like to know that you are excited to be here as well. So let's just dive right in so we don't waste much of our time, because I do know that we have businesses to take care of. So welcome once again to EXECUTEENS 1.0. And this program is organized by Brighten and Build the Teens Foundation, also known as BBTT Foundation. So BBTT Foundation is a youth-led, youth-centered organization dedicated to the advancement and empowerment of adolescents and young adults through intervention in three key major areas, which are education, mentorship, and leadership. So what are the objectives of EXECUTEENS 1.0? What do we want to achieve with this initiative? The first is to develop leadership mindsets. We want to equip individuals with the mindset, the confidence, and the skills that they need to take initiative and make informed decisions, as well as lead effectively in their schools and in their various communities. Another one is that we want to enhance essential life skills. We want to train participants in critical thinking, problem solving, communication, and teamwork to prepare them for real world challenges. And I will not fail to mention that this program was initially centered around teenagers, young school leavers, but during the course of the registration, we figured that a lot of people who are, let me say, older adults, right? Because we have young adults who should be here as well, but who are older adults also indicated interest, and we had to let them in. So this program is not just for teenagers at this point in time, as it's also it will also be accommodating older adults. So I've seen someone as old as 47 registering for this, and I'm super excited, and you know, it just gets me thinking, you know, so it means that people are actually testing and searching for knowledge, and it's why we're here. We want to build leadership skills. I don't know, in whatever area or wherever you might be sitting at in your leadership journey, we are here to help you. We are here to propel you. So we want to enhance essential life skills. And then another objective of EXECUTEENS 1.0 is to foster career and entrepreneurial awareness. We want to introduce participants to career exploration, goal setting, entrepreneurial thinking to help them navigate future opportunities with clarity and confidence. As you all know, that this program is in two phases. The first is this leadership program that we are holding right now, which will run between today, the 24th of March, and the 27th of March, which is Thursday. That's the first phase. The second phase is the skills training, where every participant will be taking a skill, which is graphics designing and video editing. So we want to build entrepreneurial thinking. We want our people, our teenagers, young adults, we want them to be equipped with skills that are marketable. So this is one of the objectives of Executeens 1.0. And the last is that we want to promote ethical and responsible leadership. We want to instill values of integrity, discipline, and responsibility, ensuring that participants develop a strong personal code of conduct for success in life and leadership, with a better perspective to true leadership. So in this program, we are going to be getting different perspectives to leadership. It's not just what we are used to. Leadership is not just title, it's not just position. There are so many perspectives to leadership, and this program will be exposing us to them. So like I said earlier, it's in 2 phases, and it will take place 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. daily. We are right now on Zoom, but we are also streaming live on Facebook so that our Facebook audience can also join us in this impactful program. So after now, we will be having our 3-week skill acquisition, like I mentioned earlier, graphics design and video editing masterclass, and it will be live on Telegram. And this course, this 4-day course, is a prerequisite to join the skill acquisition class. So if you know somebody that should be here right now, please kindly send them a reminder so that they can be here and partake fully of all the entire program. Then as time passes by, we would have general weekly meetings to monitor progress and things like that. And then official closing will be communicated at a later date. Kindly send your complaints, your inquiries, and whatever you might have to our WhatsApp number, which will be in the chat box shortly. So I encourage us to listen, to participate fully, and let's absorb everything that this program has outlined for us. And I'm sure that you definitely get value for your time. So thank you so much, everyone, once again for being here today. I'm excited to welcome you here. I'm delighted to welcome you here. And I know that as it progresses, you'd understand better. So thank you so much. And kindly follow us on all our social media platforms. It's very, very important. Please do follow us at the TR Foundation, at Brighten and Build the Teens Foundation, on Instagram and on Facebook. So we will be glad to engage with you as you also do with us. And please know that certificates will be provided for all participants of the leadership course and the skill acquisition after now. Thank you so much once again. And that will be all from me for now. Over to you, Farida. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much for organizing this power-packed program. And I believe a lot of young persons and older adults, like you said, are going to benefit from it and also get value for their time. So thank you so much. So going further, we're going to be welcoming our next speaker for Module 1. But before he comes on board, I'm going to read his profile so we'll get to know about him more. So he's going to be teaching us on leadership, the power of leading by example, a very, very important topic everyone needs to learn and replicate. So our speaker, his name is Baba Abdullahi Machina. He is a political scientist with a strong focus on public policy and development financing. His work centers on promoting transparency, accountability, and citizens' participation in governance, particularly in northeastern Nigeria. As a community engagement manager for Spotlight for Transparency and Accountability Initiative, a non-profit organization in the region. He plays a crucial role in advancing civic participation and advocating for good governance and ensuring that government spending is effectively tracked for the benefits of communities. His efforts have empowered citizens with the knowledge and tools needed to demand accountability from public officials. In addition to his work in governance and civic engagement, Baba is one champion with the One campaign, where he actively advocates for policies that addresses poverty reduction, healthcare financing, and sustainability development across Africa. His leadership and dedication to civic engagement have earned him recognition in various prestigious regional and international fellowships, including the yearly Regional Leadership Fellowship and the African Civic Engagement Academy. Through this platform, he has strengthened his expertise in leadership, policy making, advocacy, and community-driven solutions to governance challenges. With a deep commitment to social impact, Baba to foster inclusive governance, social accountability, and sustainable development in Nigeria and beyond. Reading through this
Farida, are you still there? Okay, I guess she's having some network challenges, and we do hope that she'll join us shortly. So, okay, I think she's here now. Farida, you're welcome back.
Thank you so much. I think my network dropped.
Yes, we guess that's much. Yeah,
All
so you
right.
can.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, do we have Baba Abdullahi Machina? We'll be glad for you to take the floor now. Over to you, sir. Okay, I think his network is down too.
He's right here with us. If you can hear us, you are muted. Mr. Baba Abdullahi Machina, you are muted. If you can hear us, you have the floor now.
So while we wait for him, please, you can repost our
Yeah,
flag. Okay, it's
sorry.
here now.
I
Thank you.
am trying to unmute my mic. So I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Oh, all right. A minute. Sorry, a minute. All right. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much, Farida, for this warm introduction. I think you did well in capturing my profile. So thank you so much once again. And Bumi, thank you so much for extending the invitation for me to talk to this young minds on the leadership. And I must commend your efforts and also your commitment to raising next generation of leaders, because this is what we are lacking in this country called Nigeria. You'll agree with me, all the problem that we have been going through in the country, it was by product of poor leadership. People who has no leadership skill are the one who are our leaders in this country in almost every aspect of leadership, especially the political leadership. So that is why we are not getting the country right, and we are not getting anything in this country right, because leadership is a very, very serious business. People has to understand leadership. People has to be trained for them to be a leader. You can't just wake up overnight and say, yes, I am a leader. No, it doesn't work this way. And that is not what is obtainable in most of those countries that we always make a reference to, that the system is working in UK, the system is working in US and other country. Why is it that it's not working in Nigeria? That's why that we are all practicing democracy and some semblance of democracy, so to speak, but we are not getting the leadership right. So this also contribute to public policy failure, and that is why I am happy and glad that you come up with this initiative to train a whole lot of young people across northwest, southwest, or the entire south part of this country. So by getting the young people understanding what leadership is all about, and who is supposed to be a leader, and what is this leadership is mean to you and I, but in this country, everybody is a leader. You just wake up overnight to say that I want to contest for a political office. And by the time you won the election, you become a leader, whether the National Assembly, whether the presidency, the governor, the state house assembly. All those people has to be trained in leadership for them to take the mantle of the leadership. It's a very serious business, like I mentioned. But I don't know why in Nigeria we don't take leadership serious. We allow each and every trash to be a leader, discussing on national issue at the National Assembly. We have seen the recent Pulabalu in the country. We have seen all these the root causes of all this failure is leadership. And the recruitment process of the leadership is rigged to an extent that everybody is a leader. So in these 30 minutes, I would like to speak to you on, I don't know if you can help me share or added me as an admin, as a co-host, so that I can share my slides. Bumi.
Yes, you have been
Can
added
I
as
share
a
my
host. You can
slides
share your
from your end?
slides.
Am I added as co-host?
Yes, I've added you. You can share.
All right, thank you. Let me just go briefly to. Sorry, try to. Sorry, try to see how I can be able to share the screen, my slides. Okay. Okay. So I think I'm getting very difficult in sharing the slide from my end. I think I will share it on WhatsApp so that you share the screen from your end, if that is work for you. Yeah, Bumi, I share the slides to your WhatsApp, so I don't know if you can share the screen from your end.
Okay, I'll get my hands on that. You can continue with the address.
Hello, sir. You can just continue while she shared the slide.
Okay, right. Thank you so much, Farida. So, like I said, leadership is very, very important, and we need to be trained for us to be a leader. We have seen the like of Nelson Mandela. We have seen the like of Kwame Nkrumah. We have seen the like of Julius Nyerere and the rest. These people rise to the position of leadership. You know, leadership is not by hereditary because my father is a leader and I must also be a leader. It doesn't work this way. You have to be trained because you are dealing with human beings. And for you to be a leader, you are leading people from different parts of different background, religious, ethnicity. Just for example, like Nigeria, it's a very cosmopolitan country in nature, where you have more than 500 languages, you have more than 200 ethnic groups. So you have religious, you have Islamic, you have Christianity, you have even people who don't believe in the existence of God. And as a leader, you must try in as much as you can to accommodate these people and provide what they need. So, of course, in my own presentation, I'm not looking at it from leadership in terms of politics, but I'm looking at it from leadership, even right from our community. Because our community where we are living or where we grew up or growing up is where the leadership started. How are we going to do that? What are those things that you see around you, you want to lead, or you want to take an initiative to change or drive meaningful change within that particular community? So it has to do with your leadership, because you alone, you cannot be able to do that. But how do you inspire people? How do you motivate people to join your cause in driving change, in driving development within that community? So it has to do with your leadership. So if we really don't understand the leadership and we don't know how to motivate people, we don't know how to inspire people to join our cause in the process of the leadership, then definitely we're not going to achieve what we really want to achieve. Yeah, thank you so much. I have seen the slides. So my topic is power of leading by example, meaning how are we going to lead by example? Not just that you want to lead, but that leadership should be by example. For instance, in your community, like I mentioned, you have seen something that is wrong, or children are not going to school, or maybe you want to take a community initiative. You don't need to mobilize people. Of course, maybe at some point you may wish to say that you want to mobilize young people who are maybe like minds to do that particular initiative, maybe community service and all of that. So that is why I say it's started from the community where you are living. You don't need to go far. Within that, your community, what is it that require my attention? What are those things that I really want to do um, without going far from that community? Because there are immediate problems within our community that we are supposed to be solving. It's not everything that you leave it to the government. Of course, as a citizen, responsible citizen, we have also responsibility to drive meaningful change within our community. And that's the community services I'm really talking about. So even in doing that, how are we going to lead by examples? You can't be saying one thing and you are doing another things. In leadership, you are supposed to be doing so that people will now say, yes, because the guy is doing that particular activities or initiative within that community, we need to join him. That is how you inspire people, because they have seen the action in you. They have seen the commitment in you. You are not just speaking to them that we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do that. Lead by example. Start the initiative so that people who are your like minds, who will be inspired by it and motivated by what you are doing within your community, will join you. And that is the power of leading by examples. And that is how I came about this particular topic, and how your actions inspire and influence others. Just like I explained, your actions and how does that inspire and influence people within your community. I have seen Bumi doing these particular initiatives. Maybe I don't have money to contribute to the organization, but I have seen her commitment in raising next generation of leaders in entrepreneur, in governance, in development, and particular issues or particular activities within our community. And he started from her community, bringing these people, training them in entrepreneurship. These are the leaders. She is leading by example. So people will be inspired. People will be influenced by your actions because they have seen in practical what you have been doing. If these people are genuinely interested in your cause, will automatically join you. You don't need to invite them to come and join you. Of course, maybe probably at some point, your like minds will be invited to say, okay, I have this particular initiative. Let's just come and do it together. So that is how I came about this. I know, like I mentioned, leadership is very, very important. We need to have a conversation, very honest conversation around leadership. And those young people, we need to equip them, we need to train them, we need to provide them skills in leadership so that these are the leaders of today and they will be leaders of tomorrow. So next slide. Yes, so this is the overview. Leadership is not just about words. Like I mentioned, it's not just about words, talking, how do you translate your word into action? And that is leadership. People want to see you doing things that ordinarily you shouldn't have been doing it if you are not in a leadership position, or if you are not maybe inspired or influence people to join your causes. So now, by the time you lead by examples, your actions speak a lot or says a lot about you. And that is why a leadership action matters. Action is very, very important. People want to see you that you are doing one or two things in practical sense of that particular things that you are doing. Don't bring initiative in your community, and you have seen a lot of things that is happening within your community, and you cannot be able to for instance, is within your ability to influence change in that particular community by leading by leading with examples, by swimming into action. You know, a lot of people will now come and follow you. You don't need to be chasing people to say, come and do this. You don't need to do that. When you are leading by example, and that is the automatic way of influencing and inspire people to come and join your cause. So in this presentation, we will explore how leading by examples build trust. Trust is very important, inspires others, and creates a positive impact within your community. In all of our conversation here, what we are saying is all about impact within our community. How are we going to drive change? How are we going to inspire people to drive change within our community? That is what we are saying. Leadership is all about effecting change, bringing something that will, maybe change the life of particular people within your community. That is just about leadership. So leadership, by example, means setting standard. Through your action. There are standards that you need to set through your actions. By taking the initiative, by taking the initiative yourself, and by translating that word into actions. So that is the standard. And what is your principles? Do you have principles? Yeah, I do. What are your philosophy? Because leadership should be guided by philosophy, by principles. But in our own case in this country, leadership is not being guided by philosophy, by principles. Remember those people, Nelson Mandela, and the rest, like Malcolm X and the rest. These are people who inspired by their action. And that is today. If you talk about these people, they have died long time ago. But if you talk about them, people knows them. Anywhere you are in the world, when we talk about leadership, Nelson Mandela in Africa will come to your mind. There are a whole lot of people who has done well in terms of leadership. And how does that people, come about this leadership? It's because nobody appoint them to be the leaders. They now lead by example. They didn't just say, yeah, I am a leader. No, you see the leadership in those people. So this is also very, very important. As I said, actions speak louder than words. Of course, actions speak louder than words. And this is leadership. When you talk, translate that what you are saying into action in the context of leadership. Then integrity. Integrity is very important. And these are the key points: integrity and consistency. You need to be person of integrity. What do I mean by integrity? Do what is right, even if people are seeing you or they are not. If as long as it is right, just do it. That is the integrity. So, but hardly you see people of integrity in leadership positions. They are doing it not because it is right, just they are doing it for their personal interest. And this is not integrity. Because once you do that, you lose integrity. You don't have integrity in leadership. So by the time you remove integrity in leadership, then there is no leadership. So then you have to be consistency, consistency in the sense that in every part of the leadership you are practicing, just be consistent. Of course, people might not notice your own impact immediately, but maybe at some point, since you are doing it for the betterment of your community, you are doing it for the betterment of your society, you are doing it for the betterment of your state or your country, definitely one day people will now notice that, yes, this is indeed a leader. And before you know, people will now rally around you and say, we want this guy to be our leader. And that is the leadership, because they have seen the action in you. By the time you assume a leadership position, because it's not about the title, leadership is about impact. What have you done in your own leadership position, whether in your community, whether as a politician, whether as an entrepreneur, whether as a community leader, religious leader, what have you done to drive change in your community? And that is just the leadership we are talking about. So now, empowering others. So your behavior encourage others to follow suit and adopt the same values, right? Because it's very important that your actions. I mean, the culture. Sorry, like, okay, no problem. We can move to the next slide. So, but I was saying that empowering others, not that you give people money, because when we talk about empowerment, we are talking about giving people money. No, give people the skills that needed for them. Give them the type of behavior model that will encourage them to follow suit and adopt to the same values that you are preaching. And that is the empowerment we are talking about. Next slide. Yes. Yes. So why leading by example is important? Why? We need to ask ourselves this very honest question, and we need to have this conversation with ourselves. Why is it that leading by example is very, very important? Because it builds trust, one. Secondly, it inspires and motivate people, foster respect, and create a positive culture. So all these are the reason why leading by example is very, very important. Trust. How do you build trust? How do you think people will trust you in whatever you are doing, and also join your costs? Because if you don't have the trust, don't go into a leadership because of your personal interest. Because if you do that, definitely the trust will not be there. It will be crushed, because people want to see you, people want to monitor you, people want to be seeing or tracking your progress in terms of leadership. By the time that they understood that you are in a leadership position because you want to enrich yourself, you want to be influential, you want to be recognized, you want people to be calling you that, yes, this is a leader and all of that, because it doesn't speak well for you maybe in the long term. Maybe in the short term, you may get what you want, but where is the trust? And if you remove trust in terms of leading by example, then definitely we should forget about leading by examples. That trust should be there. Then how to inspire motivations? You motivate people, those people around you within your community. You want to do this, you want to do that. Start doing that. If by start doing it, people will now automatically join you if they're interested or genuinely interested in your cause, and creates a positive culture. So it set a tone, and the organization or groups for the organizations. If it is an organization, if it is a group of the young people in the particular community or particular organization, it sets a tone for a culture. So I think when you do that, positive culture in the saying that people are very consistent, people have integrity, people are very honest, people are very kind. All those things are very important. These are the culture. Once you establish, people hardly deviate from it, because from the onset, you have already built a culture, very positive culture, that people will hardly deviate from those cultures. So when you have those cultures embedded or in those young people that you really want to train them, you want to raise young generation of leaders for tomorrow, in entrepreneur, in every aspect of life, because we need leadership, which is very, very important. And so let's just move to the next slide quickly because of the time. Yeah, what are the characteristics of the leader who lead by examples? Right, Vumi, for example, I consider her as a leader who lead by example. And believe you me, you will be noticing all these characteristics in her. Integrity. You will see the integrity in her is something that you can easily notice, because she does what is right all the time, whether you are seeing her or not, but she knows that what she is doing is right. And no matter what the situation is, she will never compromise, because he want to accommodate X, Y, Z. So that is the important, and that is the important or characteristic of a leader who lead by examples. And I cited Bumi as an example, and you will see that integrity in her. Then we now talk about responsibility. How do you take the ownership of both success and the mistakes? because as a leader, leading by example, there should be a mistakes, there should be a success. You have a success, you have also a mistake. So, but how do you take the ownership of that success? If it is success, you take the ownership of the success. If it is mistake or failure, you take the ownership of that failure. And that is one of the characteristics of a leader who lead by example. Don't shift blames on somebody because you guys fail in the process of your initiatives. So when you take responsibility, it means that you take the ownership of both success and success and the failure. So hard work and commitment. You have to be committed. We have to be hardworking. Empathy and humility. All these are characteristics of the leadership. We can move to the next slide because of time. Yeah, Bumi, let's move to the next slide because of time. Next slide. Okay, is it? Okay, yeah. So real life examples of leading by, like from the beginning, you heard me when I mentioned people like Nelson Mandela. You read a lot about him, and Mother Teresa, who was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom at some point in 80s. Steve Jobs, how the guy came about the Apple that we're using today in the early 80s. And we know Nelson Mandela. Those are the people that I bring so few examples about leading by examples. All those people led by examples. If you read their history, Steve Jobs led by example. Nelson Mandela led by example. You see Mother Teresa, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, so you see, all those people are leaders who led by examples, and their legacy is there. You can track their legacy. If you go to the internet, they wrote a lot of books. They comment their experience, biography, autobiography, and the rest. So if you are reading, you will be inspired by how they led by examples. So I will suggest that we read about these leaders. There are a lot of them, but I just mentioned three. If you go, you get a lot of them. So we can read about them and understand how they're led by example, so that we can replicate the model in our own context within our community. The next slide. Yes. So consistency in action. When we say action, we translate all this your word. We have a very good. We are very good in speaking. We can say whatever. We have a very good initiative. But how do you translate that initiative into actions? So how are you going to maintain consistency in that initiatives, which is very, very important. So and another one is reliability. How reliable are you? Sometimes when you have a team of people in your group and you want to reach out to them, these people are not reliable. Even as a leader, when your followers are now want to talk to you, want to share some initiative, want to share some ideas, want to talk to you as a leader, you need to be very reliable in the sense that by the time people reach out to you, they will get you. But when you are a leader and people cannot be able to get access to you or cannot be able to rely on you, then definitely there is a problem. Then we now talk about transparency. You need leading by examples. Often involves being open. To be honest, you don't need to hide anything. We're talking of leadership. Being honest is also very, very important, and that's the transparency we are talking about. Yes. Next slide, 8. I think I have just three slides more from this one. Let me just rush us quickly since the slides will be shared to you guys. Yeah, I just have 12 slides, and I think we're in 8 now, number 8. So let me just rush us quickly to the slides. I think the rest are just constant and other stops. So leading by example every day in everyday action, small actions, big impact. All these small actions is very, very important. So don't say that people are not noticing you. Don't mind people. Just do what is right and just lead by example. Then being punctual, you have to be very punctual, but you are a leader, you are not punctual. You ask people to come out by 8, you are not coming by 8, you maybe come by 9:30 or maybe 10. This is not leading by example. If you ask people to come by 8:30, you should be there maybe as exactly as 8 or 8:15, so that yes, tomorrow people will not be coming late because you are leading by example. Then demonstrate work ethic. Give your best effort in everything you do. That is the work ethic, demonstrating work ethic. Then encourage teamwork. Teamwork is very important. Don't say that you know it all and you can be doing it, because leadership has to be very collective action. People are coming together for a particular cause. So in that process, encourage teamwork. Let people be assigned role to people. Even if people don't have the capacity to do that, believe in them. Have confidence in them that they can be able to do that. And by doing so, you are encouraging these people. Yes. So another one, leading by example, everyday action. So punctual, maintain positive attitude. I have talked about that in the past, and encourage teamwork. So let's move to the next slide, which is second to the last. Bumi, I think, yeah. So now, how leading by example inspire us, create accountability, encourage growth, and promote team cohesion. So this is this. I just want to brush so quickly. Just move to the next slide. Yeah, challenges. What are the challenges of the leadership by examples? Pressure to always be, and misunderstandings, maintaining consistency. All these are challenges of leadership. But I know as a leader, leading by example, definitely you must be having challenges at some point. But how do you overcome those challenges? That is also important. I have just itemized some of those challenges, and how are you overcome those challenges as a leader, who is leading by example. So let's just move. When the slide is shared, then you maybe digest more. Overcoming, how do you overcome that? Self-care, seeking for feedback. Feedback is very, very important. When people criticize you as a leader, take that as a feedback. And that is how you can be able to improve. When you don't have feedback mechanisms, people cannot be able to provide feedback for you. You are doing something wrong, and nobody will now say, oh, madam, what you are doing is wrong. But I think this is what's supposed to be doing, or this is what's supposed to be, this is what I think that should be doing. So as a leader, take that as a feedback. Don't say, oh, who are you? Who dare you to challenge me as a leader and all of that. If we really were interested in the development of our community, because of all this leadership I'm talking is in the context of our community. I don't want to take it far, but leadership has to start from our community, immediate community. There are a lot of challenges that require leading by example to solve that particular problems. So we don't need to go far into a political leadership and other form of leadership. So let's just move, overcome the challenges. So summary and takeaways. Leading by example is about aligning your actions with your values. You have values, and inspire others to do the same. You're right. You have to, if you have to be very honest. You have to be somebody of integrity. You have to be consistent. You have to be committed, right? So all those things are very, very important values that you really want to see those values in, people that you inspired, or people that you really motivate to take action in our community. So now trust, respect, and motivation. Trust, very, very important. When we say trust, it means that when people reinforce their trust in you, honestly, you don't need to betray their trust. They trust you because you're a leader. They have confidence in you and also in your ability to lead them by example. So all those are very, very important. Even small actions, can have a big impact when you lead by examples. Small impact. All those things within our community, just like what we have been here for, is very important. These are small impact that has or action that has a very, very wider impact in the long term. And we really don't know. We'll come back and say, yes, Kumi has done well for the country, and that is just how the white people are assessing you as a leader. What are you doing in your community? What initiative are you bringing in your community for you to be the leader? These are the criteria for the assessment of you being a leader, not just that you have influence, you have connection, you have X, Y, Z, and all of that. That doesn't qualify you in a country that is very serious as a leader. You need to demonstrate all these commitments. And come to think of that, finally, that you see somebody in US or somebody in Germany is now spending you maybe 20 million naira to go to UK, to go to US and for a fellowship. Because all those things is because they have seen all the small things that you are doing within your community. And it's just like that. Even the scholarship we are applying abroad in UK, in US, and other countries, including the fellowship like Mandela Washington Fellowship, then it's all about leadership. And what people are submitting in their application is what people did within their community that you and I think, what is it? You're just wasting your time. By the time you put all those things, people assess it and say, yeah, they have seen the potential of leadership in you, and they will just finally select you and spend, millions of naira, go to US and get a quality training in leadership and come back to your country, reflect that. Chevening, for example, is more or less of leadership. They are now looking into the leadership aspect of you and the potential of you being a future leader. And this is how it started, growing your community and all of that. You need to have a community engagement. You need to have a community initiative. Don't be underestimating all these initiatives that you have been doing it. I have seen a lot of my friends who got a scholarship of 100 million, not because they are somebody, but because they have been doing one or two things within your community that you and I didn't even notice or recognize them. And we even describe them as some people who are wasting their time. But by the time they put on this application and back it up with data that yet indeed they have done that, then finally, if they are convinced, they will award this scholarship for you. And that is how it should be. So we should be. I will just conclude my presentation because of the time that the little initiative we are doing in our community, we shouldn't be underestimated. You don't need anybody's validation. You don't need somebody to recognize you. Time for the recognition will come. At times, some people are doing particular issues, particular initiative within their community. Somebody is watching because of this social media and all of that. By the time people are now noticing what you are doing, people will now nominate you as the leadership award. You don't even know where it comes because people are now monitoring you. People are now seeing the activities that you are doing. People are seeing the initiative you are doing, and they will nominate you that, yes, you don't even know. You're not even aware of it. You will just got an email that you have been nominated because of the leadership you are demonstrating within your community. So I think with that, I came to the end of this 30-minute presentation. Of course, I know I have gone beyond my time. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for listening. So I want to take a few questions. If there is none, then I will say goodbye to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Machina. We really enjoyed your session, and it was really, really educative. There's one thing I picked from your section was leadership is about influencing others, and it's about little action. Just start small, just leave impact, and your action will influence others. And leadership is how you translate your words into action. Actionable steps, small things will lead to greater impact. Thank you so much for that. And we are really grateful for your time. The fact that we are living in a country where the leadership is really, really dancing on one leg. But then this topic is here to educate young people. The problem with young persons these days, because they put more money in front before doing anything. But we thank God for this session that is bringing light to the mind of young people and to the minds of older people. Thank you so much, Mr. Machina. And the question and answer, it is meant to come on Wednesday. So anyone who has question should document it on Wednesday. It's going to be a general question and answer for the first module, second module, and the third module. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah,
So
thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your session. We really had value for our time. So I'm going to pass the mic to Mrs. Olubumi if she had anything to add.
Yes, thank you so much, Barbara. That was an enlightening session. I learned a lot. Thank you so much. It's really eye-opening, and I'm sure that everyone on this call, as in one way or the other, broaden their horizon on the subject matter of leadership. And we are glad that we called on you and you obliged us, and we actually did add value for our time. Thank you so much for the insightful session. If there's anyone that has a question, they'll be forwarded to you and would have the answers reverted to them. So just so as not to waste so much of our time. But if there is any pressing one, it's fine. We can take maybe one or two, but in the absence of that, we'll just call it a day. I would like to appreciate everyone that has joined this call once again. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your availability, and do bear in mind that this continues tomorrow until Thursday. So we'd have this for the rest of the week. And specifically on Wednesday, we'd have a Q&A session that we address questions generally about leadership. And you can just pen them down until then. But if you have one that is really pressing at the moment, kindly send them to the WhatsApp number that has been provided, and it will get to the right quarters and duly addressed. So over to you, Farida, to round up this meeting for us. Thank you so much once again, everybody. It's
Thank you so much, Ma, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Mr. Machina. We really had value for our time. So tomorrow is another day. Let's make it on time. Please do well to post the flyer. Invite that young person you want to impact. Create little change so it can transcend to something bigger. Please, can you share the flyer to your friends, to your family, to anyone you know that will be impacted by this topic, so we can learn together. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can just document it just like she said, so we can take your questions. Thank you so much for joining, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Bye for now.